Hello, my friends. It is year 13, week number 643.
Kevinisomoto says welcome to the vlog.
Okay, so if you watched last week's video, I was talking about how I traveled back to New York. So I'm back in New York now, but upon my arrival, I caught COVID. I immediately became better the very next day. So I was only sick for a day, but I wanted to self-isolate in case I still had COVID. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that this whole week has been incredibly boring here in the apartment because of the fact that I have not left this apartment for the entire week. I basically did like a self-isolation type of thing where I spent time here. I did my work during the day, and then in the evenings, I kind of like found things to do around the apartment here. Just kind of things that I can catch up on, or like side projects I can work on. Just different things that don't require me to have to go out and leave this building. The first thing is, I've got to say, is that I have a very clean apartment right now. We did some deep cleaning here, so I will say this is a very clean apartment that I'm currently living in right now. But the thing is that a lot of the things that I would have normally been doing, like my laundry, has just been backing up because I haven't done any of this stuff, like going to the laundromat. So now that quarantine is ending for me, I am going to be doing laundry probably tomorrow, and it'll be my first time doing laundry in a while. The second thing is personal news. This week I have joined a new dating app. So that is something new that I've been experimenting with this week during my self-isolation tour here. It is very early on to kind of tell what my experience is with this new one. The app is Hinge, so I'm on Hinge now. Never done this before, but I'm on a dating app, this new one, called Hinge. The third thing is we have a bit of an issue going on right now with my radiator. It's fine for me from my experience with it up here, but the problem is that it's dripping water down into my neighbor's place below me, and so it's causing a problem for their apartment. And so I've been kind of working with her to try to figure out the cause of the problem. We're in contact with our landlord right now, and what's happening is, and this is just my assessment here, is there's something either broken or just loose with this pipe joint right here. And when the hot steam is being pumped through this thing, it just builds up condensation and drips down into the floor. And this is cause for concern because if you remember last year, there's an issue with one of the other neighbors here where their whole roof fell through. We're trying to figure out the problem or like solve this issue because we don't want another caving in ceiling situation where my whole floor is gonna fall through. We're having a repair guy come over to check it out, and they'll probably either fix this or replace some of these parts here. And I don't know what that's gonna involve, but this is probably gonna go down in the next couple of weeks. Another thing is I've been wanting to update and renew my passport. I'm not planning on traveling anywhere anytime soon, but I have a passport, it's expired, and I think it's just good to have. I was kind of looking at the process of how this whole thing works, and when you're just renewing, it's just a matter of filling out the paperwork, retaking your photo, and then submitting all the stuff. And I was looking at the guidelines for what they require for the photo, and this is something that I feel I can do myself. I'm setting up to do my passport photo right now, and so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use the backdrop. For the backdrop, I'm going to draw the shade, which is like a solid off-white. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my video light, and I'm going to put my softbox on it right now. So it just says on the photo thing that it has to have no shadows on the backdrop, and that should be very easy to get that sort of a look without anything else. So I'm going to set up the light, I'm going to take this photo, and then from there it's just going to be a matter of like printing this somehow and then having that photo shipped to me, and then I'll probably send it off from there. So that's another thing I've been working on this week, is just kind of getting together all of the paperwork necessary to renew my passport. I left my apartment for the first time yesterday evening, and it was to go and walk over and get one of these COVID tests done. And I am negative, so that's a good sign. And I guess the last thing I was going to mention is my 1-year anniversary of living here in New York is coming up at the end of this month, very quickly approaching, and that means that my lease is about to be up for this place. And I've been debating whether or not I want to renew or find a new place to live. So I've been scouring different listings, checking things out, and there's a couple of places that look interesting that I might go and check out once I finally acclimate myself back into the city here. So I think that might be next week. I haven't quite figured things out yet, but I'm gonna go and check them out. Possibly we'll be moving at some point in the next few weeks here, or renewing this place. It's been week number 643. Next week, I reemerge back into the city for week number 644.